Hey guys, this is Carrie. Welcome to day 2 of your virtual Sedona Retreat. We're getting out on the land today for some forest bathing, and then we're going to do a releasing ceremony as we're walking up to this other location. So I'm going to get out of the way here and just let you see what I'm seeing, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the importance of getting out on the land and what forest bathing is and how to utilize it as a support for your personal well-being. Okay. Here we go. So this area that I'm in right now is a very special place to me. I've lived in this neighborhood for 17 years. So I sort of, even though my house is about a mile away, I consider this to be my backyard. And so I'm going to have you just sort of walk along with me. I'm just off of this little trail here. I'm going to do my best to keep the camera relatively steady as we begin walking. And so let's first, I guess, talk about the benefits of being out on the land, especially during this time where so many of us are at home a lot more than usual. Getting out on the land is, obviously really good for your psychological well-being. Also, getting fresh air, giving yourself some space to just be grounded, connected with the earth. And so literally being out in nature enables you to revitalize and recharge your energy field, because we are benefiting from being away from electromagnetic radiation, in a quieter space. Some of you may have noticed that it's a lot quieter outside now, which I'm actually loving. With all the businesses shut down and there's not so much hustle bustle. And I actually feel like because of that, this is a time where we can really take advantage of not only the sound of the quiet and the silence, but the energy of it. And utilizing this to really just sort of ground and center within ourselves, give our nervous systems a break, being in more of a space of self-nourishing. So, a little butterfly, first one of the year. I don't know if you guys saw that. I think it was actually a little moth, but still. Anyway, forest bathing is something that people have done since the beginning of time, just naturally. But there is an actual practice of this that comes out of ancient Japanese cultures. And I'm sure Native American, probably every indigenous culture in the world has practiced this. Forest bathing is much more than just getting out and walking and jogging. And it's connected to what we were talking about yesterday with mindfulness. So forest bathing is about being in nature. And you can see, even though I'm in a high desert area, we've got plenty of green going on. I actually am in a little bit of a foresty area right now. This is one of the trails that I like going on in the summertime because there's shade. But forest bathing is about really being present as you're being in nature. So being open to what you're perceiving through the senses, what you're seeing, what you're smelling, what you're hearing with the sounds of nature around you. But one thing that I love to do, and I'm going to invite you to do this on your own whenever you can be in a space where you can be in nature, is place your attention, just use your intention to place your attention on your energy field. Become aware of your own electromagnetic energy field, your energy space, your aura, your luminous body. Become aware of that as you're walking in nature, and become aware of how your energy field is connected to all that is. use your intention to let your energy field soften and expand. You can even use your breathing to do that. With each exhale, you can think of allowing your energy field to just release, soften, and expand. And you can use your inhale to breathe in all of the essences of the nature around you, the natural realm around you. One thing that I've discovered is that when you can be in nature just silently, silently acknowledging your connection, the aliveness of nature and your connection to nature. When you acknowledge that, your connection to nature, nature responds. Nature responds to you. And so just walking and being present is another form of meditation that you can do. Somebody asked me a question about the video I posted yesterday around meditation and what to do about thoughts that arise. So I'm going to go ahead and say this now. Meditation is not about trying not to have thoughts. It's about being present with whatever arises within you. And so when you're meditating and you're noticing that you're having a thought, just observe it, almost like it's a cloud that's passing by, and then return back to just being, count it as a part of your beingness. And the difference between meditation and getting stuck in your head is if you're stuck in your head, every thought sort of sweeps you off into a different direction and you're getting caught up in the past or the future rather than being present in the moment. So meditation is about being present. And if we have a thought, no big deal. You're just observing, hey, I'm having a thought. Let me just return my focus to being present in the now, breathing, listening to the sounds of nature, smelling the smells of nature, feeling the feeling of being connected in nature. This little rock that I'm showing you now is, the locals call it the throne of Isis. It looks like a chair on the top. And so it's a power center that is connected with the sacred feminine. In fact, while we're doing our little land journey today for our retreat, I should talk a little bit about the vortex energy. I'm going to be walking up to this area in a little bit that shows where there's some crystals coming out on the earth, which I'll show you when we get there. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and just talk about my 2 cents of the vortex energy here in Sedona. So, as you can see, and of course Sedona is pretty much known for our red rocks. The reason that our rocks are red is because there's a high percentage of quartz crystal. Of iron. There's also a large percentage of quartz crystal, which I'm going to show you a vein of quartz crystal in a few minutes that's on the surface of the land. But there is literally a geological dynamic here in Sedona that is created from the combination of the iron in the rock here and the quartz crystal, both of which are conductors of electromagnetic energy, literally on a subtle energy level. I don't know if it's measurable with scientific instruments, but for sure on the subtle energy level, there's a refinement of the electromagnetic energies here that have the effect of living in or being in a very finely tuned radio station. So it heightens the senses. We might feel more in tune with our intuition. People who spend time here often have more vivid dreams. I know that when I first moved here, even though I've been a professional psychic for like 35 years, I've lived in Sedona for 17 of those years. When I first moved here, I definitely noticed an increase of clarity, especially in my clairvoyance, like how I was seeing things in my mind's eye psychically. So also the energy effect that the vortex has had on me personally, when I first moved here, for the first like month or so, I felt actually really ungrounded, lightheaded, sometimes even like tired and headachy. And I thought it was because of the elevation here. We're at like a 4,500 foot above sea level elevation. But then after about a month or so of living here, I went to Flagstaff, which is up to a 7,000 foot elevation. So they're a higher elevation than us. And I didn't feel the same way at all. So I knew then that what I was experiencing was because of the vortex energy. Let me just hop over this fallen tree here. I remember when it fell a few years ago after we had a winter storm. Now we have to go around it. Anyway, you can see how this is like an awesome trail. So I'm going to come up on that crystal vein in a few minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording now so that I can actually practice the forest bathing and just being present in nature for a few minutes before I chime back in with all of you. So let me pause for now and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I lied. I'm back sooner than I thought. I was just walking to the little crystal vein and I noticed, I don't know, hopefully you can see, look at all these little sparklies in this rock, if you can see that. So even on like a very, very small level, there's a lot of crystalline energy here. So these are little teeny flecks of like mica, probably. The other thing about our red rocks is they're basically, a lot of the red parts are sandstone. So they're not good rocks for climbing because they're a little bit crumbly. And a little history of how the red rocks were formed here. In ancient times, Sedona used to all be underwater. And so the red rock formations that we have are formed by sediment of the water levels sinking down over time, sort of in the same way that the Grand Canyon was made. I guess you could say I'm at the bottom of like a little canyon right now. So yeah, that's another little cool, interesting fact. There's been times where I've been like hiking way up high and have found fossils, which is super cool also. There's definitely a really enchanting sacred energy of here. A lot of the Native American cultures here, actually all of them, consider Sedona to be like an extremely sacred space. And so the Native Americans wouldn't really like live in Sedona proper, but sort of the outskirts of Sedona, and just come into Sedona for sacred ceremony and things like that. So, okay, I'm over and out again until I get to that crystal vein in another few minutes. Okay, here we are. This is one of the areas that I like to pause and show people that I work with out on the land. This is like the beginning of it. You can see this, these little things here are actually quartz crystals. So this is like the surface of an underground vein of quartz crystal. Tons of quartz crystal in Sedona. I've got huge chunks of quartz crystal at my house that I've found just in my backyard. So these are actually like little teeny little chips compared to other things that you'll see. So this is again the combination of the iron and the quartz crystal, which amplifies the electromagnetic energy of Sedona, contributing to the vortex energy. And then this is our view from here. Okay, I'm gonna head up to this other location for our releasing ceremony. Hey guys, check out this amazing view. Super special spot I'm in right now. This is one of my favorite spaces to come to for ceremonial work, meditation. Which, by the way, there's tons of people out here today. I'm delightfully surprised. I've passed quite a few people on the trail. I can hear people now. It's good to know that there's still life happening. If your area allows you to get out just for some nature walks, I definitely recommend it. It's so good on so many levels. So this is where we're gonna be for our releasing ceremony. I'm gonna set that up and be back in a minute. Okay, I hope you guys can see me okay. And hear me okay. I know it's a little bit windy. So I'm sitting, I decided to come and sit down. I prefer sitting for things having to do with intention setting, releasing ceremonies, things of that nature. And so what we're going to do today is a releasing ceremony. I'm going to actually show you two different things that you can do. The first one that we're going to do utilizes a candle, which I'll talk about that in a minute. But first, let me talk about why we're doing the releasing ceremony. So yesterday in our session, we did a meditation. We talked about mindfulness. We did a meditation that specifically supports you in accessing your inner guidance, your silent knowing around what your true intentions are for yourself at this time in your life, regardless of what's going on in the world. And so phase 2 can be doing releasing or clearing ceremonies where you're using your intention, your visualization, and making actions that support the release or the clearing of anything that could possibly be hindering you in fully stepping into what your intentions are. So ceremonies are a strong tool of empowerment to utilize to support our growth, because you're focalizing your attention, your intention, with the purpose of shifting energies. And the more you can utilize as many parts of yourself, all of your senses, your physical senses, your psychic senses, your awarenesses and your energies, the more you can integrate those things in the process of intending or affecting change, the more beneficial the results are going to be. And so releasing ceremonies are always a part of the retreats that I do for people here, and so we're just doing it together now. And so if you're using a candle to do a releasing ceremony, there's a few different stages. So for one, you can use any candle, but you can get creative and use candles of different colors, and like using colors that support whatever your intentions are. So for example, if you're doing a ceremony around embracing friendliness, kindness, love, compassion, you might want to use a pink candle. For today, I'm specifically using a small black candle because it's about releasing negativity, and black is a color that can be associated with that and helpful for that. I'm using these small little mini candles that specifically are for ceremony. They're only about 4 inches long, and they burn down in about 20 minutes, so they're really good for ceremony. If you don't have one of these at home, you can use any candle. You know, if it comes down to it, you can just use like a little tea light or something. But if you do want one of these candles and your local metaphysical store isn't open, you can actually buy these on my online store. For my store. My husband and I own a boutique in Sedona, and we do have online shopping, and we have these in every color. And so I'll put a link to our store online shopping option in the description. So anyway, So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go into like a little meditation. I'm just going to walk you through the steps so you can do it on your own. You're going to go into like a little meditation. You can use the one that I guided you through yesterday, going into your heart center. And from there, you're going to ask yourself, what would be beneficial for me to release? What's no longer serving me? What am I feeling guided to bring to completion in my life, or let go or clear from my mind, from my heart, from my energy field? And as you're in that meditation, you're going to be holding your candle in your hands. And what I like to do is actually do this, sort of roll the candle in my hands. So your hands and arms are connected to the heart chakra. So whatever energy and intention you're radiating from your heart, just intend to allow it to flow, the energy of that, through the arms into the hands. As you're in almost like a meditative or prayerful intention setting type of energy, you're allowing all, like, whatever awarenesses are coming to you around what you want to release. You're letting all of that energy go out of you into the candle. That's phase one. Phase two is you can take a little, I'm using a teeny little thumbtack today. You can open up a paper clip. You're going to scribe any type of personal symbol that to you represents what you want to release. So it can be like an X for fear, like whatever. There's no right or wrong. It's just whatever symbols come to you. You're working with sort of a universal language of symbolism, which we'll talk more about in future videos. But you're just scribing whatever you want to scribe, symbols that represent what you're releasing. Fill your candle up, and with each symbol that you scribe, you can be in the mindset of, with the symbol I release this, with the symbol I release this, on and on and on. Fill up your whole candle. Then you're going to further magnetize it by anointing it with oil. Today I'm using this white lotus oil that I got in Egypt. You're going to put a few drops of whatever oil you intend to use, essential oil. You can choose essential oil that feels aligned with your intentions. I'm using white lotus because it's like a really high vibrational energy. It relates to the higher chakras and spiritual opening and awareness. So you can rub it in the palms of your hands, and before you put it on the candle, you can even do this. And just let the scent of it have whatever effect it's going to have on you. I like to put a little bit on my third eye chakra, the crown chakra, heart chakra. You can even do the soles of the feet. Then you're going to take your candle from the middle, and you're just going to put whatever remaining oil from your hands onto the candle from the center out, like this. Like you're magnetizing it further with your intentions. And the whole time you're doing this, you're continuing to just release, put all that energy of whatever you're releasing into the candle. You can do this again, say a final prayer, aho, so mote it be, and so it is. Then when you're ready, you can put it in a candle holder. I have this little candle holder that's for this type of candle. If you don't have a candle holder, worst case scenario, you can use a piece of aluminum foil or something like that. Then light the candle and let it burn down. I'm not going to light mine right now for several reasons. For one, it's dry out here, and it's important for fire safety matters to not light fires in areas that are prone to forest fires. And then also it's windy. It's never going to stay lit. But if you are outside and you light your candle outside anywhere, do it wisely. Keep it, be in attendance with it while it's burning. Don't leave it burning, obviously. Be wise with fire safety. If you're doing this at home, then just put it on a little shelf or table or something like that, and make sure it's in a fire safe container. Let it burn all the way down. And then as the candle burns down, it is releasing all of that energy that you put into it from you, transferred it into the candle, and then it's releasing it to the universe, where it can be transmuted, recycled into reusable energy. And so that's a really simple yet very profound and a powerful releasing ceremony that you can do. Another thing that I like to do while I'm out on the land with people, and you can do this on your own, wherever you are, a park, whatever, if you can find a hill or even an edge of water to be by, what you can do is take little stones and rocks. So here's some just right around me here. Do the same type of thing that you did with the candle, where you're transferring the energy that's within you that you're ready to release or let go. You're transferring that energy from your being, from your energy field, from your heart, through the arms, into the hands, into the rock. Okay, so with this rock, I'm releasing the collective's fear around the virus, okay? So on behalf of the collective, I am releasing any fear and uncertainty that we are experiencing in humankind right now around the virus. So I'm putting all of that energy into the rock. And then, so my life force energy is going into that, the part of me that was fearful, and then I'm transferring it from me to the rock. And then I'm going to throw the rock. And as I throw it, I'm literally releasing it from my energy field. So here we go. Throwing it as far as I can. And oh, it's released. You can do that with as many rocks as you need to. Again, if you're by water, you can throw the rocks in water as well. And maybe you can even get together with your family to do this. If you have kids, do it with your kids, significant others, whatever. So that will conclude our retreat session for today. I'm going to stay out here, though, and record some a yoga practice that I'm going to post on Friday. So be sure to stay tuned for that if you're a yogi. I'm going to go up to this other area here and do a little vinyasa flow for us. All right, blessings.